What's good, guys? Welcome back to Ron's Rise. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video where I'm here at Alfa Romeo of Lakeland, Florida with the first 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonale Sprint. Yes, it's the first time we've had the entry-level model on the channel. The most affordable Tonale in 2024 is here, and it's a PHEV automatically here in the United States. So what does that mean? That means you get plug-in hybrid technology automatically at a cheaper price. Now keep in mind, this is our first time seeing these specific wheels, the specific interior, which I actually like the entry-level interior, probably almost better than some of the other interiors, and our first time seeing the breakdown and pricing of the entry-level model to see what exactly it's going to cost you, because this model behind me only has one option on it. The rest is standard. So let's take our first look at the Sprint model, entry-level, most affordable Tonale in 2024. Now I know everybody gets curious about what's under the hood. This is a turbocharged, intercooled 16-valve, 1.3 liter, all right, inline 4. So combined with this 12 kilowatt battery, you're looking at 285 horses total, 347 pound-feet of torque, all-wheel drive, 6-speed. Now, with that, you're going to get towing capacity of around 2,000 pounds. You're going to get a 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. And you're going to get a top speed of 125 miles per hour. Now, what's good about this is across every single Tonale model. The TI, middle spec trim, and the Veloce top trim spec gets the same engine output as the entry-level Sprint, which is good because you don't have to worry about picking your engines and paying more for your engine output. Really, you're worried about styling and what color you want and all the different options and everything when it comes to that. So it's good that Alfa Romeo stuck to one powertrain in order to move all of their Tonales throughout the world. Now, when it comes to the Tonale dimensions, you're looking at a total wheelbase of 103.8 inches. Its length, 178.3 inches. Its width, 74 inches. And its height at 163.2 inches. Now, she's also tipping the scales at 4,291 pounds. Now, looking at the Tonale for 2024 in the Sprint entry-level mode, you wouldn't be able to tell unless you were really pointed out to a couple of things. The front fascia is still the same, basically, when it comes to the looks. So you can't really tell from the front, really, that it's anything that is the cheaper version or affordable version. Really, it looks just as premium. The biggest thing with the Tonale TI is that you'll see this done in aluminum, but this looks like the same as the top spec Veloce trim when it comes to the front fascia. So you will see the Scudetto up here in black, the Trilobo up there as well, Alfa Romeo insignia. Looks very good, very 3D, very aggressive. Then you will also see the lower fascia there as well, done in black as well, with the black front lip and the honeycomb grille going all throughout. Now, when it comes to the lighting, the tri-LED lighting comes standard on all models, and that is important, right? Amber turn signal there as well, or amber reflector, because American spec. And obviously, the side ventilation gives it a little bit more aggression and kind of, cuts and curves when it comes to that whole look. So then you take a step back, and again, you can't really tell any kind of difference when it comes to the actual look of the front fascia. It looks just as clean, just as aggressive as any other Tonale. Now, with the side profile of the Tonale, you'll be able to tell a couple of things that, it shows it's the entry-level model. So you get, for the first time that we've seen here today, the 18-inch silver 5-hole wheels. This is your entry-level wheel on a Tonale. It looks actually really good, and you get the monochrome center cap right there with the Alfa Romeo logo. Goodyear sport tires here as well. Why not? Take a look back at it to see how it all fits together, and it's not too bad. Now, with the Tonale Sprint, you will also see a couple of things like rubber or hard touch plastic. So take a look at the wheel well here. On the wheel well, you have the plastic, and you have it going down the side skirt as well in that black flavor. Same around the window moldings, you will see that you have that same plastic. So you have some symmetry there when it comes to the wheel well and the side skirts and the window moldings. And then we talk about the B-pillar done in gloss black with some more symmetry for the mirrors, because the mirror caps are done in gloss black, which I love that they did that with the Italian flag as well, because it gives it a more premium look that way, and it just stands out. So when it comes to the rear of the Tonale, you'll see that the third brake light is hidden under there, and then it flows over to these gloss black side blades. All right, you have your wiper right there in the middle, and then the really cool light bar that we will see illuminated in just a moment. And then in the middle, the Alfa Romeo insignia with the Tonale badging as well, and then going all the way across the other side. Now in the lower half, you will see that the styling right here is pretty simple and pretty, just kind of flowy going across, no specific grooves or any kind of, aggressiveness. When you see the Tonale TI, you will see this done in gloss black with a what can I say, aluminum red diffuser color. And then for the Veloce, you will see exhaust tips and then more styling as well. This one just keeps it simple, and it goes with the same flow as the side skirts, wheel wells, and the window moldings when it comes to the lower half here. So that, again, this is something that is new to us on the channel, seeing this for the first time. So take a step back, and again, it still looks great. And for what you guys get here, what are you guys thinking about the styling of the rear, the side, and the front of the Tonale? Obviously, the front is going to be my favorite. Now, of course, we get the same key that we're used to for Alfa Romeo models that we've had since the brand came back to the States. So, unlock, lock, and then we also have our trunk release and remote start with our panic button. Physical key here as well. If you guys were to pull these grooves on both sides, you will take this black face off, and you will see that we do have our physical key in there, as well as our battery, just in case the key fob dies too. Now we got to talk about cargo for the Tonale, right? 23 cubic feet with all 3 seats folded up. And then when you fold these seats down in the 60-40 split, you're looking at 51 cubic feet of space. Not bad for its class. As you guys can see, we have the center feed through. We have the privacy shades right here, which are easily removable by this here. Just taking that right out, and you can take this right out just in case you need a little extra space for anything a little bit taller. Now, coming inside, you can probably guess what this is, right? Let's get it out, get it out. All right, that is our level 2 charger for the Tonale. All right, so we have that obviously included, but just in case you didn't know, it is here and it is branded. So I do like that they took the time to not just leave it completely black, but they put the Alfa Romeo insignia and monochrome on there as well. Then we have our floor mats here. If I pull this back here and I go here, you will see we have a false floor. All right, and we have a little extra space, our tire inflate kit, and basically that sits right up there just like that. As you guys can see, these little hooks here to make it easy. I didn't have to hold it up there, and it makes it very accessible and practical when you're trying to get to things, and it doesn't block special things over here on each side. So really, again, they make it pretty simple for you guys. Good for traveling and just good for overall space. Now for some, this might look like wings. Really what it is we have 2 doors for one plug-in hybrid and one fuel. 77 miles per gallon, 33 EV range, 29 on the MPG. So this is actually 29, 29, 29. 29 city and highway combined, 29 city, 29 highway, 29 across the board, 33 here. When you put it all together, you're looking at 77 miles per gallon when you use all of this correctly together. Really cool, right? That's where the plug-in hybrid part comes into play. So again, your left door here will be where you would actually plug in your car. And then the right side, well, unleaded fuel will go here. Now, if you were to charge your Alfa Romeo Tonale on a level 1 charger, that's gonna give you about 5 miles per hour. That's the slowest way to go. It'll take you about 6 hours to fill up completely, because remember, it's only 33 miles for the battery. So on a full charge, 33 miles, about 6 hours. If you were to charge on a level 2 charger, well, you're looking at around 14 miles per hour, which would take you just over 2 hours to fully charge your battery when it comes to the Tonale here. So keep in mind, the level 2 charger is probably the best way to go, but if you want to plug it in overnight at home, it's not going to take long for you to just go to bed, wake up, and you're fully charged for your battery. Now guys, let's talk about this interior, because it's one we haven't seen yet. Let me get to it. You guys are like, what? Because we've seen the premium leather, all right, with the perforated leather. We've seen the Alcantara leather, but we have not seen this yet here in the States on the channel. And look at that. That's like a 3D leatherette. I'm not exactly sure even how to even pronounce this or classify this, because this is like the wicker basket 3D carbon fiber that we see on the trim levels of the Quadrifoglio models and on Maserati models like the Trofeos. This has that 3D wicker basket feel, and it's really cool. But then around it, you have cloth. So this is like a soft touch cloth. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't even call that. I don't think that's leather. And then it has bronze stitching all throughout as well. Same here. Like, you guys can tell. Like, look at the texture on that. That looks crazy, right? So this is a different kind of trim when it comes to the interior that we haven't seen before. And lo and behold, it's on the entry-level model. I like it. I like it a lot. So, guys, what do you guys think about that right off the bat? Now, before we get in, you'll see on the door paneling, we have the soft touch plastic, the aluminum kind of like trim here, like the 3D aluminum. I like to use 3D, but when things have texture to them, I call them 3D. And then the aluminum door handle there. And then you have that same kind of soft felt feel that's on the seats, around the seat surround, right here in the inserts and on the armrest. And it's very soft. So I do like that because it's comfortable and it gives it some depth and different material than just plastic all throughout. And then you have our speaker down there as well. You have their 2 pedals there with the dead pedal. And then we don't have our floor mats in because they're in the trunk. Then we step inside and here we are. Now when we get inside, we're gonna see a lot of the same things that we're used to from Alfa Romeo, like this flat bottom steering wheel. All right, we also have the perforated leather around, the start-stop button here on the steering wheel. We also have our driver assistance controls here. We have also right there on the right our menu controls and hands-free controls, like for you're speaking on the phone. You also see that we do have the lighting controls here as well with the gas door and the dimmer for the speedo, the turbine vents that we're used to. All right, and then we get to a couple of things that, you know, we're not used to for Alfas that's new on the Tonale. Because when we started, it's completely quiet. Nothing has shaken or rumbled. We didn't hear any noise. We started completely on battery, guys, which is crazy, right? And that's the only Alfa Romeo you can do it on right now, the Tonale. Now we have the digital speedo here. All right, with that digital speedo, that is new for 2024 across the board. The Giulias and Stelvios get those as well. But this is very customizable when it comes to the options. Obviously here, we can change a few things and using the menu button here to change the layouts and everything here so you guys can see. We can scroll through anything we need to, going throughout, just customizing all of that. I did a deep dive on that. Make sure you check that out as well. Uconnect 5 on this 12-inch screen, guys. That means we get the latest from Stellantis when it comes to all the multimedia, all the different technology when it comes to the driver assistance, when it comes to your driver profiles, navigation, your phone connectivity. I mean, it is all here in a Tonale. It doesn't matter what trim level you get all the good stuff. We also have our rear view camera there as well, as you can see how big that is with the surround on the parking sensors as well. You can see your e-hybrid page. You know, that's important for seeing what kind of, you know, I want to say fuel economy, but even range you're getting when it comes to electricity. And then coming down to the bottom here, you will see that we have dual climate control here, all right, for both sides, some actual physical buttons, which is nice. We have our wireless charger there as well, and our 12 volt there with USB 2.0 and USB-C if you want to plug in. And then we have our drive mode selector. Now, this is the first time in an Alfa Romeo model you can actually turn off the traction just by turning off the traction, all right? An individual traction switch, if I were to go up here and hold it, traction's off, but it has to be in dynamic mode, which is our most aggressive driving mode, natural, everyday driving for that, and then advanced efficiency. The battery took over. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the battery turned on when I put it in dynamic mode, advanced efficiency, turned it off. We're using our EV mode when we're in advanced efficiency. We have our gear selector here. All right, I can do manual mode, and then the engine kicks in when I do a manual mode, if you guys didn't hear that. Then back up to park. Now you can do your radio controls there, electric parking brake. Then you have your e-save mode, and then you have your parking sensors there. Now you also have cup holders here, and then in this little armrest, we got a little bit of space down there. All right, a little something. The rest of the model here looks beautiful. We do have the soft touch plastic here, and then we have that same kind of cloth soft materials that we have on the door cards and on the surrounding the seats right here in the middle. I love it. And then we have this nice aluminum etching here with some styling there as well. All right, so again, This is very what you're used to other Tonale models. Just a couple of things have been dialed down a little bit for the entry-level model, and it is very Alfa Romeo-esque when it comes to like the DNA selector and the steering wheel and things like that. They can kind of get you to navigate around. So you got to know what you're getting into when you get a Tonale. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's for the better. Now let's check out the rear of the Tonale, because as you guys can see, we're getting the same flavors in the rear as up front. The door paneling, same with the soft touch plastic, the aluminum feel around the bezels, and then the aluminum door handles. Got our speaker there as well, our soft touches on the armrest, and that's really a good thing, because that's going to be obviously where you're resting your arm, your most used touch point when it comes to that door paneling. And then when it comes to the seats, you still get that really cool bronze stitching on the top of the headrest there, but then throughout you have the gray stitching going throughout, and then the really cool pattern on the seating here as well. In the rear, you give the bucket looking kind of seat style, hop inside, plenty of room. And again, that's going to be important for this class. Tons of room, tons of headroom here as well. And then obviously we have our HVAC vents here. And then if I were to pull down this big armrest, you can see we have our cup holders here as well. So pretty chill in the back seat, pretty simple, pretty standard, but still a good place to be, a comfortable place to be at that. We can't forget to check out the tri-LEDs, as you guys can see with the switchback turn signal there. And the HID headlamp looks so pretty. And then coming along here, you will see in the mirror cap, done in black, the turn indicator with the Italian flag there. And then let's not forget the tail lamp bar in the rear with the turn indicators there as well. Seeing it all together, obviously, it looks really good. Now, how much is the 2024 Tonale PHEV going to cost you for this entry-level model? Keep in mind, they don't necessarily call it a Sprint here in the US, but it's a Sprint model. You have 3 trim levels: Sprint, TI, and Veloce. So, base model, entry-level model, Tonale PHEV. Standard price is $42,995, and I told you we only had one option on here. So after that one option and a destination, you're looking at $45,090 total with your basic warranty and powertrain warranty, 8 years down here as well. Make sure you guys check that out, because that's important. And 8 years, 100,000 miles, I'll take it. Now, with that said, what's the one option we have? Of course, it's that Rosso paint at $500. The destination charge is $1,595. Everything else you see here is standard for the Tonale PHEV. So I'll take you to all the standard equipment here so you guys can see it. Zoom in. Make sure you guys pause it. See everything that this comes with today, but we saw a lot of it today during the walk around, so you guys can see exactly what we're working with when it comes to the entry-level Tonale. And again, the cheapest Tonale you're going to be able to get. Now, the only thing that will be different here is if we took off that $500 price tag, which I believe if you get an Alpha White or Bianco, which is just a regular gloss white, I think that's your standard color for 2024. So then there would be no charge. So then you would take $500 away. So then you're looking at $44,000 and some change. So really, $500 off of this price. I mean, 44 looks better than 45, right? But this is basically it for the 2024 model year. No options on a entry-level Tonale PHEV. So just paying for this Rosso paint and just paying for the destination charge, what do you guys think? At $45,000, are you feeling the Tonale Sprint and everything that it comes with here today? Now, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you guys check the links in the description where I have Alfa Romeo of Lakeland's information, their website, and their phone number, just in case you guys want to get this Tonale in your driveway today. Work with them. They will take care of you. You guys can also check out the Ron's Rise merch. You can check out my social media and everything else. Subscribe and click the notification bell. And with that said, you guys be blessed. Have a great day. We will talk to you guys in the next Ron's Rise video. Peace.